Rolling? Do we have speed? See, for those of you who don't know, speed really means when the camera's turning and then you can talk and then people can hear you. So I'm glad to be with you today, and I'm just going to tell you a little story about myself, one of my favorite subjects. Anyway, this is a story of how your bedtime buddy started. It's a long, long time ago when I was 2 years old, and I was at a dance recital, and I played the part of a bumblebee. And the second that I walked out on stage, I knew that showbiz was for me. I mean, all of those dancing school mothers applauding, the father standing up applauding. I didn't realize it was because I didn't have any underwear on. That was how it all began. But I fell in love with dance, and I found out later on that I had these incredible talents, like being a contortionist. That's when you can bend and back and do splits. And you might remember the famous split from my Playboy magazine layout in a bowling alley, because that's where most people do splits. But at 2 years old, it was the beginning of my show business career. And I went on from 2 years old to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and continued to take dancing until I ended up on a dance show at the age of 12 years old. Well, I sort of like was one of those kids that just sort of developed overnight. I was not popular in grammar school. The kids were really mean and vicious to me, and they would make fun of my hair, which was a totally different color, and say horrible things. Well, I got them back, because when I got into junior high school, guess what happened? I became cheerleader. Yes, I did. I could do a little cheer. Wait, let me think. How does that cheer go? Okay, here we go. Time to fight. Hey, you Gators, it's time to fight, because we want you to win tonight. Something like that, except then you would kick and cheer and, again, show your underwear. It's sort of something that's been a running theme through my entire career. But it's been good. But anyway, so I became cheerleader. So all those kids who didn't like me in the 6th grade, they just immediately became fans. That's when I learned what it was like to be a cuddly cupcake. But anyway, so I went on from junior high school and was a cheerleader, and I ended up, of course, somehow doing a local commercial. And it was fabulous on television in New Orleans, because that's my hometown. And I just fell in love with the cameras and the lights and the director, because he was really, really cute. And I knew this was my destiny to end up on television. Then there was this local dance show. You had to be 16-year-olds to be a regular on the show. You would dance on these little cubes, and the kids would be dancing in front of you, but there was the dancers, the girl dancers, who would just wear very short miniskirts and just be regulars on the show. And I had to get on the show, even though I was way too young. I think 13 or 14, and you had to be 16, but I lied, and I got on the show because I grew breasts, and somehow that worked to convince them that I was older. So that was it. That was the beginning. It was called Saturday Hop from New Orleans, and after that, the rest is history. It's up all night history. Isn't this a great muff? It's my little pink muff, and I'm petting it for you. And you may notice there's a price tag on it, because some of you people don't know, but when we do shoots out here in Hollywood, we pick up things, we buy them, and then we return them, so we leave the tag on. But this is really good. I got it on sale because it was originally $146, down to $96, down to $24.97. I may keep it. Anyway, let me just tell you, I'm going to bring you back a little bit to my childhood, because I had one older sister and two older brothers. Well, I still have them, one older sister, two older brothers, and I was the baby. I was a way afterthought. And my two older brothers, well, they were dorks, and they still are. No, but I love them dearly. But the thing is, they had great friends. But I was so much younger than the two older brothers, their friends wouldn't talk to me. I found out later they were checking me out, but they were afraid of me. So what I would do is we had this swimming pool, and I would put on my little bikini, not realizing I was doing anything at the time, or that it was doing anything to the guys, to my brother's friends. Oh, I guess I sort of knew that. But anyway, and I would race them, and I was like the best swimmer in the neighborhood. And then my brothers would torment me by doing things like, they would say, Rhonda, can you dive for the rocks? And they put rocks on the bottom of the swimming pool, like about 20 of them, in the deep end. And I just thought that was like normal, like to stay down there forever, picking up the rocks. But I did do that, and it increased my lung capability. And it's helped, obviously. I think that was part of the exercising. But anyway, so that's just part of my childhood. And another part of it growing up was I was really chicken, like when in boy-girl parties, like to kiss. You know how everybody would get together and play spin the bottle or post office or whatever they do in your hometown. Well, spin the bottle was very big in New Orleans because they're way behind the times there. And the bottle would land on me, and I didn't want to kiss the boys, you know. So I sort of developed a reputation of being a chicken, which later evolved to my nickname of Chickie, which lasted for years. But I had the best set of 45s. No, I really did. So all the kids invited me to every party because I would bring my 45s that were all labeled Chickie. You had to put your name on these records or you would never get them back. I hope this isn't boring you, but I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about Rhonda. Well, I'll even tell you how I started talking about Rhonda in third person. I just thought Rhonda, my mother didn't like the name Rhonda. They wanted to name me, well, my middle name is Honey. My mother wanted my first name to be Honey and my second name to be Rhonda. And my father and mother had terrible fights over this. So it finally ended up Rhonda Honey. And I just thought I would give my mother more credit for Rhonda. So I just started saying that Rhonda's very happy to be here with you. It was sort of strange when you do that in high school. People don't accept it the way that you all do on Up All Night. Okay, so now we're through grammar school, and we're through junior high where, excuse me, I'm sweating. So many crew people here, I'm just getting all flush. Well, down south, you can say things like that. So I went through junior high successfully. I made it through. Well, I didn't do well in high school Spanish, or actually in junior high school we had Spanish, which is now, I'm suffering because of that, because now, you know, we're doing Latin America Up All Night. It's called Levantado Toda la Noche. So now I'm speaking Spanish, and the reason why I didn't do well in high school Spanish is because I had this really cute boyfriend named Van Fagan, and he was in a class at the same time that I was in high school Spanish with my best friend Connie, and I would just want to cut class to see what he was really doing, and so I would leave the classroom, walk out, I would get, you know, a pass to go to the bathroom, and he was always rubbing Connie's neck. So I learned early about what some of you guys do, and now I'm having fun getting back in my own little way.